Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock. Well, welcome to episode 21, and this is our last one for November, right?
Yes. And then we're doing Christmas.
Yes. And we're doing Krampus, the 2015 Krampus.
Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas Bloody Christmas.
And Black Christmas.
We're going to talk about all three Black Christmases. And then we'll finish it off with Winter Set Hollow by
Jonathan Edward Durham.
There you go.
Which is not really a Christmas book, but it's one of my favorites and I really want to do it. So.
It's got winter in the name.
Yeah. We had talked about doing, which I highly, highly recommend this book. Per Jacobson released it last year and it's called 25 Days. And it's an Advent-style book for December, and you read one chapter from the 1st to the 25th of December. And it is a really good story, but I just wasn't sure it would roll over very well for podcast.
Yeah.
Especially because I've read it already, and I know, like, I think if we went into it, neither one of us having read it, and just kind of jotted our thoughts down every day, it would have worked. But I do highly recommend that one for a December read. Check it out. There's actually a Facebook group that they're doing a group read. And the group is ran by Per and his wife. So.
And today we're doing Drag Me to Hell.
From 2009. I forgot how much I loved this movie. And I forgot, honestly, how scary it is.
And, I'm going to be a little bit ahead of the game here, but I'm going to say Justin Long is in this movie, who we talked about previously on the podcast for Jeepers Creepers.
Yes. And I saw it when I was looking at stuff for this movie. It's like, if you ever see him in a horror movie, you know he's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
I guess he's been in a lot, but I can't.
He's been in a lot of movies. The only one we've covered on the podcast so far is Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was another, maybe it was a TV show or something that I had seen him in.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really know anything.
He was kind of one of those. Well, I mean, this is 2009, but kind of like one of the heartthrob guys back in that era. So, yeah. So I'm gonna let you do the spoiler-free review.
I mean, it's kind of a similar situation to like The Ring, where someone gets cursed and they kind of know they're gonna die.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, she's trying to figure out how to stop it from happening. So. The movie starts out in 1969, and there's a Mexican family who's bringing their son, to see a woman.
Because he stole a silver gypsy necklace.
Yes. So we kind of see some things from his point of view. There's hands trying to reach him. It's kind of a scary opening scene, really. And I know you had made the comment that you weren't sure it was necessary.
I'll explain why I didn't think it was necessary. Or I don't necessarily don't think it was necessary. I think the movie could have been different without it.
But you know that the woman they go see is the same woman Chris.
Yes. It's Sean Sandee, is that?
I'm not sure.
Well, I wrote it down, but I don't know if that's how you say it. That's what I wrote though. I just wrote down what the subtitle said, because I try to watch movies we're going to cover on the podcast with subtitles on so I don't miss things.
Yeah. I was doing that with the 1970 Black Christmas, because they get phone calls in there and you can't really hear what the person's saying.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing.
Well, and because like on Vanishing in 7th Street, when the girl disappears, the girl with the baby, I don't even remember her name right now, but when she disappears, she says something, and we disagreed on what it said, and mine was based off what the subtitle said. Yeah. Which subtitles can be wrong. And I said that in that episode too, but.
So, back to Drag Me to Hell. So, at the beginning, and they're at this woman's house and an unknown entity attacks them. And then...
Specifically attacks the boy.
Yeah, and doesn't he kind of throw the parents around before he gets to the boy? Maybe that's later on.
Maybe, but I didn't think so, but very well could be.
So, the boy gets pushed off the balcony, and he's laying down there, and he looks like he's deceased.
Yeah.
And, but then he starts to get up, and then the floor opens up, and he's dragged into hell.
Yeah.
And that's the end of our opening scene.
So do you take that as everyone could see him being dragged into hell, or just he saw it like that?
I think they saw it.
That's what I thought too.
I think they did. Because I think at the end, later on, I think people, I think it's visible too.
That's yeah.
Spoiler.
I mean, it's not really a spoiler. We didn't say what happens.
Yeah. I think they could see what happened. And I really think, especially because we see the lady later on, and I think she kind of talks about it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe she knows.
Yeah.
What's happening.
So then we meet Christine.
Yeah, it's modern day. That was in 1969.
Yes.
Now we're in 2009.
Yes. Modern day for the movie.
Yeah.
So we meet Christine, and she works at a bank. She's a loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't remember if that was. I knew it was loan something, but I didn't know if officer was the right title. And they're foreclosing on a woman's house.
Before we get into that part, though, this is really important to the storyline. She is up for promotion for assistant manager.
Yes.
Against a guy named Stu. But
Yes.
Stu is a kiss butt and is doing everything he can to get this promotion, and he's new.
And
he hasn't even been there very long.
He doesn't say it now, but later he mentions something about his dad. So his dad must be some higher up in the bank or something.
Yeah, and Christine throughout the movie, she's trying to train him on her job.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that he is gonna do or say whatever it takes to get this promotion.
And it seems like he doesn't. He has it. He feels misogynist. He never says anything outright misogynist, but it feels very misogynist the way he acts.
Yes.
Like he can't stand a woman being above him.
Right. And there's one part where the branch manager's like, "Hey, go get me a tea or something," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take one too. That sounds really good." Like,
it's a turkey sandwich.
A turkey sandwich.
Because
she's not a secretary.
Yeah.
She's not his assistant. Yeah. Like, she's a loan officer.
And the one that asked her to get the sandwich was her boss.
Yeah.
And then he complains about it because he says, "I said no mayo," and she's like, "No," which that's not till later.
Right, but yeah, so just kind of give you an idea of who he is.
He's just kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
But you know what this reminded me of? Her coming in and her house being foreclosed.
What?
Mayhem.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah.
But it's this older lady, and she's kind of. I don't mean to be mean, but she's kind of what you imagine when you think of a witch.
Yeah.
Like your classic Halloween witch. She's got like one eye that's blind.
She looks like a gypsy, like an older gypsy.
Yeah.
Type person, because she's got the head scarf and.
Yeah. Which. This movie perpetrates some incorrect stereotypes. But I don't think we're gonna get too much into that. But I had a friend who was raised as a gypsy, and they went through a lot of stuff, but it's not good for movies like this to reflect harmful stereotypes.
Right. And I mean,
it's that thing. It's like the Native American burial ground thing that's a trope in movies. Why is a Native American burial ground any scarier than a regular cemetery?
I think just because they're.
I don't want to say regular cemetery.
No, I know what you mean, but I think just because the Native American ones are older.
I don't think that's why. I think it perpetrates that mystic stereotype.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying, like, from my point of view, if you've got a 16th century cemetery versus a 19th century, the 16th one's probably going to be scarier.
Yeah, but
not that, I mean, even Supernatural does that with the Bugs episode.
It's just, it's not a good stereotype.
Yeah.
And
so
if you want to see,
we're not supporting the stereotype typical of a gypsy woman in this movie.
And we also have your sister who has researched heavily into gypsy culture.
Yes.
And gypsy is not an incorrect term. A lot of people think it is. It is not.
She actually did her program somewhere, and they asked her, or she was going to do her program somewhere, and they asked her not to use gypsy, and so she.
Yeah.
I don't think she even went and did it because.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we see Christine at the bank. Well, then she goes to lunch with her boyfriend Clay, who's a professor. She actually. This is when she goes out to get the turkey sandwiches.
Oh, I want to talk about the woman a little more. She seems like she's...
Hang on, we're not there yet. We haven't met the woman yet.
Oh, okay.
Because she has lunch with Clay and then
Okay.
goes back, and that's when she comes in. And I want to talk about this only because her boyfriend Clay is a professor, and as she's leaving from lunch, he's on the phone with his mom, and her mom
Yeah.
is basically saying that Christine is a farm girl. She's not good enough for him.
But they've never met her.
Right. I think she even says she's got somebody else in mind for him.
Yeah.
I
don't think she calls Christine a farm girl. I think she just says, like, we're always unimpressed with the girls you bring home. You need someone higher.
There's something farm girl in there. Because they talk about it when she
I know they talk
brings
about it
the
at the house,
cake.
but I didn't think they said anything there.
I think it is there, but I could be wrong. So it basically just makes Christine feel bad about
I don't
herself.
think she does, because I the implication I get there is they don't know anything about her. They just assume because he found her, she's not good enough.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so now we're back at the bank, and
Yeah.
the older lady sits down.
And her house is being foreclosed. They've given her
Yes.
2 extensions.
Yes.
And so Christine says, well, I'll go talk to my boss.
And Christine, you kind of get the impression like she's one of those people that actually has a heart and cares about her customers, so she wants to do things to help people out.
But it also seems like she's been beat down by the world.
And she's
like,
a pushover.
Yeah.
She's kind of a pushover.
She very much is a pushover and takes everything people says kind of like at face value. Like, she believes them.
She takes it to heart.
Yeah. And it kind of reminds me of someone I know in real life.
So Christine tells the woman there's no way to get more credit. We've already given you 2 extensions.
I did want to say, though, the woman seems sick. Like, she's coughing, and there's, like...
She's coughing up blood at one point. I don't know if it's here.
She's, like... It's all very wet.
Yeah.
Like, she, like, wipes snot on the counter at one point, I think.
Yeah.
And, like...
Later on, she coughs blood.
Yeah.
On Christine. So, so the old woman's like, please, 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 please. And so Christine goes to talk to the manager. And, of course, he's the one making the decision for the assistant manager.
And he tells her it's up to her.
Right. But she looks over and Stu's closing the loan deal.
Yeah.
And like Dawson said, the manager says it's your call. You do what you think's right. So she goes back out there and tells her no.
Because I think the boss even mentions that it would be a lot of money for the bank.
Right.
If they get the house.
Yes, right, yeah.
And so yeah, she goes back out there and tells the woman. And the woman actually, she's like, I never have begged for anything in my life, and gets down on her knees and begs Christine to reconsider.
So Christine calls for security.
Yeah. And then the woman tries to attack her.
But one thing she said, and it kind of almost made me cry, because... Like, I think about my grandma, and if she was in that situation, and she says, I begged you and you shamed me. And we shouldn't ever do that to our elderly. No. We shouldn't do that to anybody, but especially our elderly people.
And even Christine brings up, like, oh, you could go in a nursing home. Like, they have assisted living facilities and stuff. And
so she tries to give her solution.
Yeah, and she says your granddaughter is your contact or whatever.
Yeah. Can you live with her?
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
The insurance lady.
Yeah, except he actually does help.
Yeah. So then she attacks Christine.
Yeah.
And security escorts her out.
Which I don't think Christine actually gets hurt here.
No.
The woman just lunges at her.
Yeah. But security was already on their way, so...
Yeah. They already had her. She breaks out of their arms and...
Yeah. So then we cut to Christine leaving the bank, and it's dark, and she's in the parking garage. She sees one other car in the parking garage.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, this movie was directed by Sam Raimi.
Yes.
And the yellow car of the old lady is Sam Raimi's car, and it has been in all of his films except for 3.
Huh.
So,
which 3 movies? Do you know?
I didn't make a note of it.
I
want to say one of the Evil Deads was one of them it wasn't in.
But before you say that about the car, we saw the old lady getting in the car, and Christine saw her getting in the car after security escorted her out. So she knows it's her car.
Right. So, to me, this scene is one of the scariest scenes in the whole movie.
Another thing I wanted to mention was the bugs. The old lady kind of has bugs around her.
Yeah. And her fingernails are dirty and...
Yeah. Like, it looks like her fingers are rotting.
Yeah. So to me, this is one of the scariest scenes in the whole movie.
It,
It's the
I'll
parking
say
garage
this. It
scene.
looks like her fingers are not getting the right circulation.
Yeah. So she sees the car. She hears the old lady coughing. She sees her handkerchief blowing in the wind. Um, and it scares her because it hits her windshield, which was kind of funny, kind of
Yeah.
like comic relief. But the old woman is in the back seat of her car when she turns around, and Christine attacks her with a stapler. I think she's taken work home with her for the
Yeah,
weekend.
probably.
And so she's shooting her with the stapler.
Um, uh, oh, and you know what this whole thing reminds me of?
What's that?
Well, maybe I should wait and talk about that after the button thing.
Okay. So Christine, the woman's kind of is choking Christine, and she's trying to get away from her.
Yeah.
So she crashes the car.
Yeah, and the lady hits her head off the dashboard and her fake teeth fall out.
Yes.
And then she tries to bite Christine, but she doesn't have her teeth, like I just said, so she just ends up like gumming her, and it's like mouth on mouth, and it's so gross.
Does she kind of throw up, like, into her mouth?
I don't think that's yet.
Okay.
I do. There is a lot of spit.
Okay. So then Christine stabs her with the gear shift. Like, she pulls the gear shift off and stabs the woman, and kicks her out of the car. And we are like, whoa, she's safe. Well, then the woman smashes the windshield with a brick.
Yeah. Because we see the woman, like, go down below the window, and then Christine is, like, looking to see...
Yeah. And obviously this points to she's not a normal old woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she stabs her in the throat with through the mouth with the gear shift.
Yeah, she does.
And still she's fighting. So... she smashes the window with a brick and pulls Christine out of the car.
Yeah.
And this is when she steals a button from her jacket.
Yes.
And she says, I actually looked it up. She curses her in Hungary. And
is it Hungarian? Is that the language
probably,
name?
Yeah. That makes more sense. And what she says is, shall the devil fly into you?
Mm.
And then she says, in English, soon it will be you who comes begging to me.
Yeah.
And then she disappears.
Well, and she gives her the button back.
Yeah.
And then she disappears. I was gonna say though, this reminds me of Thinner.
I haven't read that one.
I know you haven't, but it's a guy's driving his car. He hits a gypsy lady and then is cursed.
Oh, maybe I need to move that one up my read list. You know, I have 3,000 books in here.
Okay, but we also see bugs again here.
Yes.
I want to bring that up. And you know what that reminds me of? It's that movie you said is the scariest movie where the guy wants to be possessed or tries to get possessed.
Possession of Michael King.
Mm-hmm. In that movie with the ants, that's what this all reminded me of. Which in this movie, it's flies.
Yeah. Don't they use a fly in The Ring too?
Yes. Yeah, because it's on the screen and it comes out.
Yeah.
Which is great foreshadowing for when what's her face climbs out of the screen.
Yeah. Samara.
She has a Japanese name and an American name, and I can never remember which one's which.
I'm gonna read those books. I'm looking because I have them. I don't know where they went. I think they're over there behind you.
For those of you who don't know, we've recorded in Mom's library.
Yes, my home library. So anyway, so then Christine is out with her boyfriend, Clay.
And she sees a psychic, psychic sign.
They're talking about it, and she's like, "Well, maybe I should have done more." And he's like, "It's not your fault."
Yeah.
Like, again,
but
it goes
she
back
doesn't.
To her character, like she has to have somebody reinforcing.
But I think part of it too is she told the old lady that the boss said no. She doesn't tell Clay that it was her decision that she said no.
Yeah, like she tells him later, doesn't she?
Way later.
Yeah.
It's like she's not taking responsibility for the actions that she did.
Right.
Which I think is commentary.
Yeah. So now is the fortune teller.
Yeah, so she sees like a sign for a psychic. So she goes in there.
Did you get his name?
I did somewhere. I didn't write people's names down until partway through the movie because I didn't know who was going to come back.
I didn't catch his name.
I don't think I wrote his that I see.
Okay.
I think I just referred to.
And he is a popular actor. I've seen him in a lot of other stuff, and I forgot to look and see what it was.
I referred to him as psychic throughout all of my papers. I think it may have been a foreign name or something.
That's probably why I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Didn't catch it.
When I should have, but I'm terrible at writing stuff down.
Rom Jas.
Okay.
And he's played by Dilip Ray.
Oh yeah, I remember that now because Clay says I paid him later, but like says his name.
Yeah.
Okay. So she goes to the psychic, and the psychic does like a reading, and we see flashes of like, really of hell. We see like demonic looking imagery, like the pagan goat type stuff, and we see flashes of like fire and people burning and stuff. And he ends up giving them a refund because he charged them $60 up front to do the reading, and he ends up giving them a refund.
Well, he says too that he knows that she lost a button. Like that's part of what he says.
Yeah.
So it kind of reinforces that he's a real psychic and he's really seeing things.
But also, she is wearing the coat that has the lost button, so Clay argues like, oh,
yeah.
He probably just noticed. Have you read the Series of Unfortunate Events series?
No.
In one of those books, there's a psychic, and then you find out later that they're a fake psychic, and they have like newspaper clippings, and like they're just really good at like observing people and pointing things out. And so I could see how people could think he was like that.
Yeah.
Because she was like the button is missing from her coat.
But he is really scared. Like he's like, get out! I don't want you here.
But he does initially just say, "Oh, you lost something," and she says, "No," and he says, "No, something was taken from you," and then talks about the button.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how Clay would think he's just saying stuff to figure out, because that's what real psychics, like in quotes, real psychics do.
Right.
They read people, and they'll say like, "Oh, I hear a woman's voice reaching out from the other side. Do you have any women in your life that have died?" And that's so vague.
Right.
Like it could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be your wife. Like it could be, especially if you're talking to an older person, like they do often.
Yeah. Like the guy in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Okay, so
he ends up saying someone has cursed you and tells them to leave, and like you said, gives their money back.
Yeah, and he seems very shaken.
Yes. He's a very good actor in this movie. I really liked him.
I don't know if I've seen him anything else. I feel like I have.
He was in Inception.
Okay, I've seen that once.
He was in Avatar. I don't know who he was in Avatar, which Avatar probably wouldn't matter because everybody's blue.
The Na'vi. Yeah, but like Sigourney Weaver's character looks like Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
So.
He was in one episode of Z Nation.
That might be what I know him from. Anyway, though, I think he's a good actor in general.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I know that he's been in. Like, there's a list, but of his list, that's about all I know.
So Christine goes home and she's home alone.
Yeah, Clay drops her off.
Which I meant to. I don't know if I asked this earlier. Do we ever find out what he is a professor of? Because I know he mentions that the psychic, oh, if my students saw me here, they would think I was a hypocrite.
No, and I didn't really pay attention to like clues in the background to try to figure it out.
Because I don't think it's ever verbally said, but I wonder if you can tell if you look at the scene where she's at his office.
Yeah, I bet you could, but I just didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either. Okay.
So Christine's home by herself when she starts to hear something outside.
Yes, and she sees shadows moving.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it ends up like throwing her to the ground.
Well, the sound she hears, she figures out it's the front gate didn't get latched, and so then she's kind of like, silly me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they do in horror movies where it's like, oh my gosh, it was just the gate.
Well, I'm sure you've done that in real life too.
Oh yeah.
You've been freaked out by something and it was something mundane.
I don't know. Did I tell you about my last freak out?
No.
Somebody knocked on our door.
No.
I was home by myself and somebody knocked on the door. Dogs went nuts. Went to the door to answer it. Nobody was there. I locked the door, went back in, sat down in the other end of the house, and somebody knocked again.
And there's still no one there.
There's no. I don't know. I didn't look. Like, nope. I talked to everybody I knew that it would have been.
Maybe it was a ding-dong ditcher.
There's been a lot of break-ins around here, too, so. Anyway.
Maybe they were checking to see if someone was home.
It's kind of what I thought. And maybe they heard the dogs and left. But, so anyway.
Anyway, that is scary.
Yeah. So, when she goes to shut the front gate, something flies into the house.
Yeah. And then after that, when she's back inside, she gets thrown to the ground. Pans are moving around. Windows bust. It reminded me of that scene in Paranormal Activity where...
It's been so long.
Well, like, we see the kitchen and then, like, all the cabinets are open and the pans are shaking.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
That's, like, one of the most iconic scenes from that movie. And so, when Clay gets home, she tells him that no one was there. Like, no one came because he assumes that the gypsy lady came and did all this.
Yeah, he wants to call the cops.
Yes. And she ends up talking to a doctor. I think they do call the cops because she ends up talking to a doctor, like a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist tells her it's PTSD.
Right. It's from the attack at the bank.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I feel so stupid. It was just PTSD. And that's what I mean about her, like, believing whatever they tell her. It's like... It's almost like she can't form her own opinions.
And just PTSD, that bothers me because that's no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, people go through that for a lot of different reasons, but
yeah.
It just, for her to be like, oh, it's just PTSD.
I have a friend that has really bad PTSD because of...
childhood abuse.
Yeah, but not... even worse than just, like, childhood abuse.
But I was trying yeah.
Things that we can't really say on YouTube.
Yeah. So he gets her calmed down, and then Clay talks about.
You know what this scene really cements for me? That this movie is about women's mental health and how easily it's dismissed.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of Smile. The first Smile movie is like that too, where, and I'll talk about it here now. This is why I think it would have worked better without the opening scene. Because without that opening scene, you don't know whether it's in her head or not. You don't know if she's actually, like, if she's actually going crazy, or if something is actually haunting her.
That's true.
So I think without the opening scene, there would have been...
Yeah, there might have been a lot more...
It would have been a lot more ambiguous until the end, obviously. A little bit of a spoiler there, but...
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I will agree with that.
Even with the ending, it could still be ambiguous.
Well, maybe. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you just had my mind go like a completely different way.
That's why I said I think it could have worked without the opening scene.
Yeah. So Clay is he wants to take her away to a cabin for the weekend.
Yeah. I think he says it's his parents' cabin even.
Yeah.
And they end up, when they go to bed that night, the window is closed and it opens and we see a fly buzz in and it ends up crawling up her nose, out the other nostril, and then into her mouth.
So she chokes and she wakes up.
Yes.
And the old lady attacks her.
Because the old lady is in bed next to her instead of Clay.
And this is when she throws up bugs all over her.
Yes. Maggots.
But then she wakes up and it's just a dream.
Mm-hmm. And when she woke up then, it was the middle of the night. But now when she actually wakes up, it is daylight.
Yeah.
But the fly part was not a dream because it comes up later.
I thought at one part, and maybe I'm getting, because I just remembered another scene, but I thought at one part the old lady threw up blood on Christine.
I don't think so.
Okay, that must be the next part. So she wakes up and it was a dream, and then we're back at the bank.
Yes.
And the guy that...
And Clay drives her to work because her car's busted.
Yeah.
But there's a rental car at work that's hers.
It's kind of, I guess maybe they picked her car up and dropped off another car.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Stu wants her help with the loan process, and she looks at his hand, and it's the old lady's.
Before you say all that, when she gets out of the car, Clay says, "Try not to piss off any old ladies," which again, yes, it's kind of a funny line, but it brings back the women's mental health thing he knows she's going through PTSD. What if that triggered something?
Right.
Like saying that.
Right.
Like, I know he's trying to be funny, but
I can tell you from a woman's point of view that it really sucks when people don't take things seriously.
Yeah.
Like
and that's
I
what I'm
went
trying
through
to say.
some things before, and I reached out for help and was told, one, that they didn't believe that that person would do those things.
Yeah.
Or two, that it was okay because it was biblical and that was okay that they were treating me that way. So I get it. Like, the downplaying of women's mental health is a huge issue.
Well, and when I worked at the library, I took a class on mental health aid and training,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't realize how many words we use every day can cause issues for people.
Right.
Even like a lot of the common phrases that we say are things that can harm people that are going through things like PTSD or have schizophrenia or anything like that, any kind of mental struggle.
Right.
Even depression. But one more thing I want to say before you talk about what's his face tapping his hand. She hears the fly in her stomach here.
Oh.
Like, she hears it, but then he comes over. I don't know if you caught that. Yeah. Because she's sitting there, and you hear a buzz, and she looks down at her stomach, and then he comes over.
Oh. I didn't catch that. So Stu wants her help with the loan process. She looks at his hand, he's tapping it on the desk, and which is another thing where it's kind of a power play, like, you're wasting my time.
Yeah. And shows that he's being impatient.
Right.
But she sees it as the old lady's hand.
Yeah, and so she freaks out and is like, get the heck away from me.
Yeah, she like screams at him.
Then the phone rings, and so she answers the phone. And then her nose starts to bleed.
Yeah.
So her nose starts bleeding, and then she starts throwing up blood.
Yes. And it's like, it is a crazy amount, like, unrealistic amount.
Right. And
you would die if you lost that much
She
blood.
throws up all over her boss.
Yes.
And
he seems more concerned about his suit being ruined than her throwing up blood.
Right, because he asks, some lady comes over to help him, and he's like, did he get in my mouth? Like, he's not even worried about the fact that she's that sick. It's more like...
He's focused on him.
Right.
Which again brings me back to the mental health thing. Also, if you hear any weird beeps or anything in the background, we're having a really bad windstorm right now, and the power keeps flickering.
Or is it the old lady?
Oh.
Dun, dun.
So she ends up leaving work. Like, she just kind of runs out the front door.
Yeah.
And she goes to the granddaughter's house, which I kind of get the impression...
I thought she went to the old lady's house.
Maybe she does. Whatever house she goes to...
I think it's the old lady's because the car is sitting there, and that would be the address that she knew from the loan.
That's what I was going to say, though. But her daughter was her contact, or her granddaughter was like her contact, though, so her information might... She goes to someone's house, and the granddaughter is there and answers the door. And she's like, can I just speak to the old woman? I want to make things right.
And the granddaughter's like, you're not welcome here. And she's like, but your grandma needs to forgive me.
Yeah. So the granddaughter eventually lets her in. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew she was going to be dead. A spoiler, but I knew that this was going to happen. She gets down there, and they're having a...
Yeah.
Which, it is like, from what my friend has described, that is how they have funerals.
Yeah, it's like,
they just have a bunch of people come, and they have them just set up in a house.
Right, but they're not sad. Like, they were dancing, and there was food, and it was just kind of a party, I guess.
Yeah.
Christine trips and falls onto the old woman's body.
Yeah, knocks it off the table it's on, and it falls on top of her.
Yeah.
And this is when, like, all the fluids that have built up in the body spill out into her mouth.
Yeah.
Which, again... brings me back to the whole, like, if we didn't have the opening scene, we see that the woman was sick, and then after this, all this stuff starts happening. How do we know she didn't get something from the old woman, and that's part of, like, part of the symptoms or hallucinations or something?
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. I didn't think when you first said that I would, but I do agree with you.
And, like, putting faith in a psychic and stuff is them trying to find meaning, and...
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot that could have been a lot more that could have been said without that opening.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
So the
and
granddaughter tells her, "You deserve everything that is coming to you."
yes, so she ends up going back to the psychic, and the psychic has some old books and tells her she's being haunted by Lamia. Um, and
I thought is it Lamia?
it might be
I think
Lamia.
it's Lamia.
And as long as she has that curse button, she's set to die. I think he says 3 days or something. Um,
Um,
so the psychic says the only way to get rid of it right now is to offer a blood sacrifice, an animal, and she argues, but I'm vegan.
yeah.
Did we mention the picture, or has that come up yet?
I don't think it's come up yet. But he gives her a book with directions on how to do the sacrifice. And one note I had was that the Lamia is actually a boogie woman from Greek mythology, and she stalks the countryside looking for children to devour.
Hmm. Um. So early in the movie, we'd been introduced to a kitten,
Pretty little gray kitten.
and I wrote in my notes, cat dash kitten dash better not die.
Foreshadowing. Is this the first time you watched this one? Okay.
Yeah. I'd seen. We're getting 3 episodes done today, for those listening at home. So, I had seen Krampus before. I don't think I'd seen Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Okay.
But I had not seen this one or Christmas Bloody Christmas, but I had seen Krampus.
Okay.
And I think I've seen one of the Black Christmases.
Probably the newest one.
I would say so.
Because I like the newest one.
But anyway,
which again is a movie that speaks on women's mental health and
yeah,
issues.
So she ends up going back home after she talks to him. And is this when she finds the picture? I feel like maybe it was an earlier scene.
Maybe.
She finds a picture of herself from when she was a kid, and she was bigger, and she was at like an ag thing.
Yes.
Like I think she raised pigs.
Yeah.
Like it was probably like FFA.
Yeah.
Since she worked on a farm.
4-H FFA.
Yeah, whatever. Same thing.
I know, but maybe some of our listeners don't know FFA and they know 4-H.
Well, FFA used to mean Future Farmers of America, but it doesn't anymore.
It doesn't?
No. It's just like FFA now, like that's the name of it. And really they people refer to it more as like Future Leaders of America and stuff.
Huh.
At least at our school.
Huh. I was in
But
FBLA,
anyway.
Future Business Leaders of America.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's back home.
Yeah, and she sees like the shadows again, and it really freaks her out. She tries to call Clay.
Well, she locks herself in the bedroom.
Yes. And she tries to call Clay, but as she's trying to call him, she sees the old lady on the phone, so she ends up throwing her phone. And she sees like hooves under the door, and then they turn into hands. Like the shadows of the hooves turn into hands.
And they come under the door to get her.
And she gets like thrown around the room. Like it's like she got picked up by a tornado. She's being spun around in the air. And she ends up grabbing a knife and killing the cat. Which again reminded me of Smile.
Yes. But Clay comes home when she
has just
burying
finished.
The cat.
Yeah, she has like just finished putting the dirt on, so she still has a shovel in her hands. And I thought that was going to be more of a thing. I thought that was going to be more of an issue.
Yeah, he never. I think later on he asks about the kitten, but he never asks what she's doing in the dirt.
Yeah, well, he does when he first gets there. He says, "What are you doing out in the garden?" And I don't remember what she says. I think maybe she says she was trying to find something or something, but
so they're supposed to go to dinner with his parents,
yes.
But Clay wants to postpone it. But she's like, "I want to go. Everything's okay now." So then we cut to them at his parents' house. It's a mansion.
A mansion.
Yeah.
Like.
Multi-million-dollar mansion.
Yeah.
And Christine has brought a harvest cake.
Old money mansion is what I was going to say.
Okay. So Christine has brought a harvest cake, which is something she learned on the farm, which her mom makes sure to point out, or his mom makes sure to point out.
Is that like a farm dish?
Yeah.
Um,
It didn't look all that good, honestly.
no, it looked kind of like a dump cake type of
I
thing.
thought it looked kind of like a fruitcake ish type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But just it looked like a mix. Like it
Yeah.
didn't look.
Which harvest cakes might be good. I've never had one.
I'd imagine they're probably pretty similar to fruitcake.
I don't know. I don't know what all's in one.
I don't know. Maybe we should try one sometime.
Maybe.
Okay. Um, and the dinner seems to be going really well. They seem to like her. They like her honesty because she like admits that her mother's an alcoholic, and um, uh, they call her a bank teller, and
Yes.
she clarifies that she's a loan broker and that she has just negotiated a really big loan, and so she's gonna get promoted soon.
Yeah.
Um, and they like both of the parents seem very very impressed with her. Um,
Um, and so her mom kind of his mom kind of turns up her nose at the cake when she first brings it in,
yes,
and then after they have dinner, they're all like, "Well, this looks really good. Let's try the cake."
and
Um,
the mom's like, "Oh, this is actually like really amazing. Like it
yeah,
tastes good."
yeah.
But Christine hears like knocking on a door that's over on the side of the dining room, and she sees an eye in the cake. And then her fork ends up getting taken into the cake,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
And
And it's funny.
she coughs up a fly.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it's funny because then she starts using her spoon to eat. I don't know if you noticed that.
Uh-uh.
She takes a bite with her spoon and then she starts choking and the fly flies up.
Huh.
Um, but yeah, so she coughs up the fly that had crawled into her mouth earlier, and that we had heard buzz in her stomach. And she like
She hears the
hears the
banging
knocking
on the door again.
She ends up screaming and she throws a glass at the door. And then the mom, Clay's mom, is like, "You always bring home the worst girls. Like she's obviously mentally unwell."
Yeah.
And
Don't follow her. She's a sick girl.
yeah, because she runs out the door. Um, and she ends up going back to the psychic, and she's like freaking out, like she's knocking stuff over in his place and stuff. And the psychic says, "I
Well,
have a lady."
she tells him, she's like, "You're full of it because I killed my kitten,
Yeah,
and it's still after me."
and he's like basically he's like, "There's no guarantees that with demons." Um, and so he says, "I have a woman that can help you, but it's going to be $10,000."
Yeah. And he tells her that she has to talk to the spirit and persuade it not to take her soul.
Yes. So the next day at work, she asks if she can get an advance on her pay since she's up for that promotion because the boss had told her earlier that she was a shoe-in.
It was looking good because of the
Yeah.
big deal that she mentioned to his parents.
But the deal was given to someone else, so she's no longer up for that position.
The promotion is on hold, and they're probably going to give it to Stu.
Yes, because the deal was given to another bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so she ends up basically like crying and stuff, but she ends up leaving work and she goes and pawns like everything.
Yeah, she goes home and she's trying to find things to sell. And this was another scene that I thought was just because I think she's up in the attic,
Mm-hmm.
and the old lady.
I think it's the shed outside.
Is it?
Maybe.
It's got. I picture an attic because it's got like the beams and stuff.
Yeah.
It could be a shed.
Well, I think it's the shed she walked outside in earlier, after she buried the cat.
Oh, okay.
But it could have been the attic. I don't know.
But the old lady is there and she attacks her and she sticks her arm like all the way down her throat, and it is so gross and so uncomfortable.
And Christine ends up cutting a rope that drops an anvil where the old lady was standing,
which is totally random because
and also very cartoony.
How many people have an anvil just tied up in their bed or attic?
It felt very, very cartoony.
Yeah.
But the old lady disappears before she can get hit by the anvil.
Then it's kind of like it's all in her head.
Yeah.
Because the lady's gone.
Which again brings me back to if we didn't have that opening.
Yeah.
But anyway,
she ends up just move to Hollywood and we should like read screenplays and be like, you need to do it this way.
Become editors. So she ends up pawning like everything, like her jewelry, and I think it's like her like DVD player even. Like it's like she grabbed anything that would be worth any kind of money. Mm-hmm. And she only gets like a little over $3,000.
$3,800.
Yeah. And like we said, she needs $10,000. So she ends up going home, and I thought this was kind of funny. She's sitting there and she's eating ice cream, and then Clay comes in and goes, "Aren't you lactose intolerant?" And she goes, yeah, but I thought screw it.
Right.
Um, and then Clay says that he paid the psychic, which is so sweet and so awesome.
Right. But
He's
I still don't think he really believes. I
I
think
don't think
he's
he
just
either,
doing it to,
but I think he's
like,
trying to,
appease her.
yeah. Which again, I like that he's being supportive, but at the
Right.
same time, that could become enabling,
Yeah.
where you're feeding into someone's delusions and making it worse for them, which you see a lot of online nowadays. This is kind of a little side tangent, but I feel like it's good to bring up because mental health is so important, and I think people need to be more aware of these kinds of things. If you see someone online that makes a video where they're talking about like delusions or hallucinations, like seeing things, do not play into it for a bit, for a joke, because you will actually play into their delusions and they could end up hurting themselves or others.
Right.
Because that is something that I feel like people are not aware of online. People will post videos and be like, "Do you see those people there?" And a lot of times it is a joke. A lot of times people do that as a joke.
Right.
But you never know. And they could be being serious and you are feeding into a delusion that could cause someone to get hurt.
Right.
So just be aware is what I'm trying to say. Um But yeah, so Clay ended up paying the psychic the $10,000 and then he drives her to the house that we had in the opening, which is also a very, very grand house. It reminds me of a house that would be in like a soap opera.
It's very, I would call it like a gothic type mansion,
Yeah.
more of the old style,
Yeah.
like not plantation type
Yeah.
home.
Because the Clay's parents was more of a plantation type.
Yeah. So Clay just drops her off,
Yes.
and so she goes in by herself.
And he even asks, "Do you want me to come with you?" And she says, "No, the psychic said to come alone." And he says, "Yeah, he told me the same thing." But he still offered to go because he
Right.
wants to support her, which I think is very sweet.
Yeah.
I think he is a good partner, is what I'm trying to say.
So she goes and meets the lady, and the lady says she's been touched by the Lamia. And
Yes.
again, this is the one that was trying to help the boy in the opening scene.
And they bring out a goat.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't catch this guy's name. I don't think I wrote it down. But there's another guy there. So we meet the lady again from the opening, now older, whose name is Sean Sandee. And then the psychic is here, and then there's another guy here. And I didn't catch his name.
kind of got the impression he was like he worked for the lady.
Yeah, I was thinking like a caretaker type thing.
Yeah.
And he brings out a goat.
And they chain it to the table between the lady and Christine.
Yes. Between Sean and Christine.
Sean, okay.
And I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's just what I wrote down. But does Sean have the machete in front of her, or does she give it to the other guy?
No, she has it.
Okay.
She blesses it.
And what she says is, the spirit's going to enter me, put my hand on the goat, it'll enter the goat, then kill the goat.
Right.
And that'll banish it.
Yes. Because you can't kill it, but you can banish it.
Yes. And
she also tells Christine, you must welcome the dead into your soul.
Yes. And this scene is really cool. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Things shake like before. I think you see some shadows moving, but then we get they talk about how there's always spirits that are on the other side of the threshold that wait by the door for someone to open it. And it kind of gave me like Insidious vibes, like the way they talk about stuff. But we see all these different spirits come in that were like people that were just waiting for a chance to come through, and then Sean Sandee ends up banishing them.
Yes.
And so then we get the actual spirit, the Lamia.
The room's shaking. There's a loud noise, and it possesses the lady.
Yes. And so she eventually ends up getting her hand on the goat, so it goes into the goat. And I love the goat. The way when the goat is possessed and it's talking, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect amount of uncanny.
Yeah.
And so the guy whose name we don't know, or really what he does,
the guy that brought in the goat,
yes,
is what I keep calling him,
comes in with the machete, and they do say his name, I just didn't write it down.
Yeah.
And goes to cut the goat's head off. Well, the goat, I don't know if it chews through the rope or if it breaks the rope or what, because it's tied to the table. But it ends up biting him.
Well, it moves and he cuts
That's
the
what it
rope
is.
instead
Yeah.
of
And
the goat.
it ends up biting him, and he ends up cutting the rope. So then the spirit goes into him. And does he end up floating above the table?
Mm-hmm.
And so Sean Sandy does some kind of I keep wanting to say Sandra D because of Grease. But
The Lamia sets the room on fire.
yes. And Sandy ends up banishing it, like temporarily from the room. Not in the way that they wanted.
Right. But the Lamia knocks out the fortune teller and it stops Christine from leaving the room. And he throws up her cat and says he doesn't want that. And then this is when the lady banishes the
And
spirit
it's the
from
body
the
of the
guy,
cat.
and the guy is okay.
It is the body of the
Right.
cat.
But then the lady dies. And this scene where she dies and they're trying to do CPR, this scene drove me crazy because they are nowhere near doing CPR the right way.
I know.
He's up here like I think
Yeah.
over her heart.
And he's not going 2 inches.
It's not how you do CPR at all.
You know what? You know how your heart is actually, like your heart is set slightly to the left?
Yeah.
You know some people are born with it set slightly to the right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. So yeah, anyway though, Sandy is dead. Like she is completely gone.
Shandy?
It's Sean Sandy.
Oh, Sandy, okay. So then we find out that the Lamia cannot be banished by a medium.
Not if they had killed the goat.
It will be back because the goat was never slaughtered.
Yes. So the psychic says that she can gift the button to someone else. So then she goes to a restaurant, like a diner, and I don't think we see her do it, but she ends up calling.
Well, hang on. Before that, she's in the car with Clay, and she tells Clay that it's over.
Yes.
And they almost hit a guy, and he's screaming at Christine that she'll burn in hell.
Yes. And it's like an old man.
Yeah.
And
so then she's at the diner.
Yes. And I don't think we ever see it happen, but somewhere along the line she must have called.
She does. So she's in the diner.
Yeah.
And she sees a family. There's a young couple.
There's an older
elderly man with oxygen on.
And she almost gives the button to him, but then and we forgot to mention the envelope fell, or has that not happened yet? I think that happens after, right?
I don't think that happened yet.
So anyway, the button is in the envelope. The psychic said if she gives it to someone else, it'll pass it on.
Lamia will go follow them. So she almost gives it to the guy with the oxygen, but then his wife walks up.
Yes, and so she realizes that he has a wife, so then she can't do it to him.
Yeah, so then she's on the payphone and she calls Stu.
Yeah. Do we see that happen, though?
Yes.
Okay.
She tells him, I know you
I must have been taking notes.
I know you gave that loan to the other bank. Show up or...
And you took that file off my desk.
Right, and show up or I'm going to expose what you did.
Yeah. So he shows up and she's like, do you accept this gift? Like, genuinely, will you become the owner of this thing? And he doesn't know what it is because it's still in the envelope. And he's like, yes, just don't tell my dad, like all this stuff. And she changes her mind. She can't do it.
So I don't know where... I don't have it in my notes. At some point she's in...
It's after this.
Okay. The car?
Yes,
okay.
Because they're supposed to be going on a trip. And they're going to get on the train. And she says, I just have one more thing to do before I get done. And he's like, well, I could do it for you. And she's like, no, I have to do this myself. And she drops the envelope that has the button in it.
Yeah. Which is important.
But she ends up finding it.
We didn't say this.
We did not.
So earlier, when
it's brought up a couple times too that he has a coin collection.
Right.
Clay has a coin collection.
At the beginning, when she is in his office, she gifts him a coin that it's some kind of quarter that she found.
Yeah, it was like a
bank.
1963 special quarter or something.
So anyway, that's important. But she gives it to him in a white envelope too.
Yeah. So here she finds the white envelope that has the button in it. She thinks.
Yes.
You can probably guess where that's going.
Well, so then she asks. She goes back to the
that's what
fortune teller, and she asks if she can gift the button to a dead person.
Yes, and he says, yes, gypsies give gifts to their deceased. You just have to do it the proper way.
You have to make it a formal gift.
There you go. And So then she goes to the cemetery, and this made me think of Supernatural.
Okay, so when she's on her way to the cemetery, though, the old lady's handkerchief shows up
Yes,
again, and it
yeah,
goes down her throat, and she barely catches it, and it almost chokes her to death,
yeah.
which is creepy.
Um, so she unburies the woman. She digs her up and breaks through the front of her coffin. And the whole time it's raining, like terribly. And she tries to gift it in her hand, and the old lady ends up ripping out some more of her hair, because that also happened at the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, that's the last of my hair you're going to take. And then it starts to flood in there.
Mm-hmm.
She manages to get the envelope in the woman's mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets hit in the head with the cross and, like, passes out for a second, but then
Mhm.
manages to climb out of the grave and leaves.
Yeah. So as she's headed to the train station, she has a voicemail from her boss.
Yeah.
Stu tried to pin the stolen file and the big deal.
Yeah, he basically admitted to it by trying to blame it on her.
Right, and so the assistant manager position is hers. And so then she's at the train station. She buys this real pretty light blue coat.
Yes.
Clay has a ring to propose. Everything's going well. She's solved the issue.
And he says, I think you picked up my coin. Your button's here.
Yeah.
And Christine stumbles backwards and...
Wait, so she finally does admit that she was the one who declined the woman's request.
Before the envelope thing.
Yes. So she realizes she buried his quarter, not the button.
Yeah.
She walks backward and falls on the train tracks and gets dragged to hell before the train hits her. And Clay now owns the button. ...
Clay doesn't own the button, does he?
Yeah.
Why?
Why would he not? It's in his possession. She died.
Because Raimi already took the person that was cursed. I don't think it, like, passes on to the next person like that.
Oh, okay. Well, fine.
But even here, with him looking at the tracks and her being dragged down, there's a train coming. So even if we didn't have that beginning, even seeing her being dragged down like that could have been just like he saw her get hit by a train.
Right. Again, like it was all in her head.
Yeah. You know what other thing this reminded me of? And I don't know if you've seen this episode of SpongeBob, but have you seen the episode of SpongeBob with the hagfish?
You're gonna have to give me a little bit more.
It's one of the... I'm pretty sure it's one of the Tales from Bikini Bottom episodes, which are kind of like Twilight Zone episodes. And an old lady comes in the store, and she can't afford a Krabby Patty. So Mr. Krabs won't give her one. So SpongeBob tries to sneak them out to her, and Mr. Krabs, like, catches him, and, like... So anyway, she ends up putting a curse on the Krusty Krab. And so no one comes, and, like, a bunch of money burns up, and, like, all this stuff keeps happening. But then at the end of the episode, when they finally get her to lift the curse, that's in quotes, she put a sign in front of the Krusty Krab that said closed. But that's what it reminded me of. And so I wonder if that episode is based off of, like, this movie. Or, like, or, like, thinner, you know. Yeah.
But I think this movie has some scary points to it.
I do, too. I think the CGI in it is well used. Like, I don't think it's overused. Yeah.
And it's... some of the reviews on IMDb, it's just not rated very high, and I don't know why. I mean, I know horror's subjective and everybody's opinion's different, but I really like this movie.
Well, I don't think it's my favorite, but I'm glad I watched it once.
No, I wouldn't say it's a well, I think I actually did mention it on our favorites episode, but I don't know, it's just
and that's
different.
Coming out in January.
It's just different. It's just, I don't know. I like it.
You also tend to like movies that have religious themes without going too realistic.
Yeah. I want my horror movies to take me out of real life.
Well, do you have anything else to say now that we've talked about the whole movie?
Well, I think that, I don't even know her name, but the girl that plays Christine did a fantastic job. I really liked her. I really liked the older gypsy lady. She did a good job.
Wasn't there one thing I said I'd talk about at the end?
The opening scene.
No. It was something else. Oh no, I already talked about it. That's what it was. It was her being dragged down could be interpreted
Oh,
as
yeah.
just her getting hit by a train, and
Yeah.
that's why he looks so freaked out.
Yeah. So, and again, maybe you're right, and he didn't see what really happened.
Yeah. Well, and it could be the same thing with the boy at the beginning because he fell off that balcony, so maybe he died from that, and
Yeah.
they didn't actually see him get dragged down.
Yeah.
Or maybe only uh, Sandy saw because she was like in tune with it. Like
Yeah.
to everyone else, maybe it just looked like he fell and died, but his body is still there, but it was his soul that got dragged down
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Huh. Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts about the whole movie, though, is that you think everything's okay. Like, you think she
More
went
than
through all of
once.
this, she dug up the body, she gave the coin back.
But you also kind of get that vibe too after she kills the cat
Yeah.
because and like the dinner's going really well. So you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Right, and especially
But-
that because that's the middle of the movie, so you know
Yeah,
that it's not
yeah.
going to be, it's not closure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I had forgotten about the quarter
Yeah.
until the, and then I'm like, holy crap. So, I really like this movie. Don't go into it expecting like a mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's not like a masterpiece of cinema, but
No.
it's a good movie.
Yeah, and it's a good story.
It's-
Again, I think it's a storyline that gets used a lot as far as
Yeah.
like somebody
Being
upsets
cursed.
somebody
Yeah.
and gets cursed. But I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, and it's an interesting take, and the creature design is cool because we don't get to see a whole lot of like the demon,
Mm-hmm.
but what we do see is creepy enough to like
Mm-hmm.
freak you out.
Right, and because they use just kind of shadows and stuff for it, it's not one where you're like, this was such a good movie, but they ruined it because the demon looks so cheesy.
Yeah.
I mean,
And even like the scene where the goat talks, I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like overstay its welcome. And I never knew you could make a goat look angry like that.
Yes, I know, I know. It actually reminded me, which I haven't watched it yet, but Welcome to Derry. I've been seeing pictures
Yeah.
of Pennywise from that, and the goat kind of reminded me of that.
Well, and we've talked about before like palate cleanser movies, like movies that aren't super heavy and don't weigh on you a whole lot. I feel like this is one of those.
Yeah.
It's not I mean, it's got some heavy themes in it, but
Right.
it's not like
It's not one you're gonna walk away from depressed. I mean,
yeah.
and I don't think it's
And-
one that. I don't want to say it's not memorable, but
That's what I was going to say.
Don't really think it's that memorable of a movie.
Yeah. And it's I was going to say it's not really one that you like that kind of sticks with you in a way that you keep thinking about it after
Right.
it's over a
Right.
whole lot. Like usually I have a lot to say and a lot of different theories about things and opinions, and this one it was just kind of
It's a very straightforward story.
yeah.
There's not a whole lot to interpret,
Yeah.
really. I mean, I do like your take on it that maybe it was all in her head. Not that
Yeah.
it was really all in her head, but that from an outside perspective,
Yeah,
maybe it was
yeah.
all in her head.
Well, and really maybe I wouldn't think like that if I didn't think Smile had done that concept so well.
Yeah.
Where to everyone else it just seems like she's going crazy.
Yeah.
But which if you have not seen Smile, go watch Smile because that movie is amazing and we should do an episode on it eventually.
The second one, not so much.
I like the second one.
I know, but not nearly the caliber
No.
of the first one.
And it might just be because it's the same concept, slightly tweaked. Which
Yeah.
it's more about drug use than.
Yeah.
But that's a completely different movie, completely different franchise.
So,
So-
if you haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, go check it out. Let us know what you think of it.
And it does have that Sam Raimi flair.
Yeah.
In a lot of the ways it's shot and things like that.
Yeah. So go check it out.
Yeah.